what I'm gonna do now is just answer a few questions that people have asked me. Quit the Mormon Church. My stand on my faith, because I left the church that I grew up in, the Catholic Church. Insurance here, oh my gosh, it sucks. It's on Netflix. It's called American Primeval. People are curious about me. So, I'm going to add chapters at the bottom, okay? So that you'll know which areas to skip, and that you know which areas you'd like to listen to, or you'd like to know my thoughts of. Yeah, English is. I'm at Lake Shenandoah right now, and what I really planned is to make a recording, a full recording for one of my medium stories. Unfortunately, I did not bring any of my iPads or any notebook where I could write something, write an outline. So this is completely. I'm still recording right now, although this is not what I plan to do. Although I still plan to record, but it seems like I really can't do that because right now it's negative 8 degrees Celsius. That's 19 degrees Fahrenheit. But it feels like negative 10 degrees Celsius, which is 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's so cold. As you can see, the lake is actually frozen. It's totally frozen. Although there are some parts of it that are still good enough for the ducks to swim. You can see. I guess what I'm gonna do now is just answer a few questions that people have asked me. Well, I'll be on my way to my car, which is something that I need to do because I can stand this cold. I'm wearing my gloves, a hoodie, and a jacket, which is not enough for a cold day like this. I'm wearing my boots. I'm not wearing any. Oh wait, can you see that? My boots. I'm not sure if you can see that. There you go. I got that from Marshall's for $20. What was I saying? Oh. Let's go over here. On my way to my car, I could answer some of the questions. Oh, stuff that people. Ouch. Oh my god. People are curious about me. So, slip my hand because I even forgot my tentacle. My phone holder. So, some of those questions are following. One, what's my stand on my faith? Because I left the church that I grew up in. That's what you call the Mormon Church, or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And another question, a few other questions concerning the religion. I guess I'll just talk about that in the car. Okay. That's what I did before. I completed everything in the car. It wasn't that cold like this. Like now. Because that time it wasn't yet winter. I guess that's okay. Okay. It's warmer in the car. One of those questions is this. These are some of the questions that my friends ask me. Some acquaintances, some a little bit close, some are close friends of mine. I'll start with a question that one of my one of my church acquaintances asked me. That is, where do I stand on my faith? When you say faith, it's kind of a really broad topic. When you say faith, that could mean church. It could also mean what you believe in. In terms of church, I guess this is gonna be like what do you call that? A life update video. In terms of church, I don't belong to any church at all. I used to belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but almost a year ago, about around summer, June or July, I submitted resignation online on Quitmormon.com. They helped me get out of the church or quit the Mormon Church. So what I did there is I signed this form and did all the other requirements. It's not so much of a requirement. It's just you just needed a notary. It just need to be notarized and then send it back to them. And then they send it to the church in Utah, to Brother McConkie, one of the, I guess, the church's law office in Utah. When I went there, you see the church of lots of offices there, huge buildings. And it's no surprise because of the history of the church, how the church grew, not just in number, but monetary, how they acquired that, starting with Brigham. Yeah, if you have seen the recent series on Netflix, it's called American Primeval. It's all about a part of the history of the church where okay, I was telling you about my faith, for example. So I'm going to tell you about American Primeval later on, and the church's richness later on. So I told you I'm going to tell you about my faith first. And when it comes to church, I don't go to any church. I don't belong to any church, although I go to one church because my roommates are Catholic. So I usually drive for them. So every time they go to church, every Sunday morning, I would come with them. Either Sunday morning or in the afternoon, late afternoon, about 5:30. We'll either go to the St. Veronica's in Howell, St. Luke's in Toms River here in New Jersey, and this other one that we just recently found out last Christmas or Christmas season, that St. Dominic's. That's a really nice place, a really nice chapel. There's also this nice little chapel that I know where we go sometimes, but we don't go there anymore because it's so far away. I think it's St. Catherine's, and it's near Howell, maybe in Freehold. I can't remember the exact place, but it's north from where we live here in Lakewood. So I go to the Catholic church, although I'm not Catholic. So every time, ouch, my neck hurts. Every time my roommates would stand up for the, it's called the sacrament for us Mormons and ex-Mormons. It's where they take the ostia and the wine. I can't remember what it's called. My brain's really fogged recently because of all the stress that I'm experiencing right now. It's a tax season, so there, except they would stand up, I would only be the one left on the bench, the long bench. And when they would kneel down, I would kneel down. Sorry, my my full buccal cavity right now is so cold. I can't speak well, but ouch. But I think this is a little better compared to, I think, 2 days ago, where I planned to record but didn't because I just can't. I can't speak well. I thought it's connected to me going to the gym that day after not going for like 4 days or a week, and lack of sleep because I'm always going to work. I work the night shifts. Where was I again? This is the problem. If I don't have an outline in front of me when I'm speaking, I would go to some of the subjects and I would, like, what do you call that? Fly from one subject to another and forget the other topic that I'm talking about. So it's either I need someone to remind me of what I'm talking about. This is like having a conversation, right? But the problem is I don't see you asking me questions or reminding me of the questions that I'm supposed to answer. That's kind of still not a conversation, although I treat this like a conversation whenever I'm speaking to this phone. My camera, it's not actually a camera. It's my phone. So where was I again? There you go. Remember. Oh wait, I was talking about faith. Faith in terms of, in the category of a church. So I'm going to Catholic churches. I listening to the homilies. That's what I remember. The other terms I remember, I can't remember where they would stand up, and for us it's taking the sacrament because we would eat bread and water, but we don't stand up as Mormons. We would just sit there, and the bread and water would be passed on to us by the deacons. The Catholics, they would stand up, put their hands in front of them like this. It was really, really reverent. Like, I like how they show respect when they come to the church. A lot of humility and respect. So they would stand up, slowly go to in front, almost to the aisle, but not actually to the aisle, just in front of it. They would take we call that ostia in Tagalog, but it's like a flat bread. I don't know what's that in English. And they would also take wine. No, wait. I don't think they would take wine. Yes, it's the priest that would take, after taking that bread, the flat bread, the ostia, the priest would have some wine. And the people in the congregation only get the ostia. So, why was I telling you about that? I can't remember now. See? So I need a código every time. When I take videos, I would usually have a código in front of me. It's something that I would read, an outline, or an actual things that I need to say. I would just read them, write them first. And since I've written about more than 100 stories now on Medium, I just read them from Medium. And I just add some information whenever there's something new that wasn't on the original story before, original article. I would just share that on the video. I'm sorry if this is I always do this because my neck hurts. It hurts almost all the time. Some days it's worse, some days it's just okay. When I started going to the gym, it kind of lessened a little bit, but now but before, it was really, really painful. I went to the doctor for it, and the doctor said, eh, that's another thing that I'm gonna talk about, insurance here. Oh my gosh, it sucks. So my doctor, my PCP, told me that she gave me unlimited visits to the physical therapy because she doesn't believe in chiropractors. In my insurance, I have 6 free visits with a chiropractor, but nothing on PT, nothing on surgery, things that I need, right? Oh my gosh. And I pay like 300 something, almost $400 every month for my United Health insurance. Same with my Aetna insurance before, which I wasn't satisfied before because you pay your insurance, yet every time you go for a visit, for a laboratory or for your blood works and everything, you still pay more. I just don't understand that here in the US. Um, my I was talking to my patient's mom the other night on my shift, where she told me she's writing the insurance companies for coverage. And I asked her which is the best insurance because I tried Aetna, I tried United Health. They both, I'm not satisfied with both of them, especially with United Health. I'm not really satisfied with them. So she mentioned Horizon. So I asked her, is Horizon good? And she said, they're all the same. Some insurance would give you, or what do you call that again? I'm lost. They would approve some stuff that you apply for or that you try to get, and they would disapprove others, or they would accept some and not accept others. And sometimes it's different with every insurance, but they're all the same in that sense, where they would, for example, accept just one vent for a vented patient, and they'd say the other vent is unnecessary. They would not pay for that, which sucks because a vented patient always need a portable one, right? So they had a hard time having that approved. And here's what happened to my case. Sometimes, well, this was a recent experience. I talked to, the visit was a year ago, and almost a year ago. And I got a bill. They kept on billing me. That's about almost $500 for the gonioscopy and my eye follow-up visit. It's for the diagnosis of possible narrow angle glaucoma. At this point, my brain's telling me to go somewhere else. Because right now, this is the reason. The reason why I'm wearing my glasses like this, my shades, is not only because of the bright sun during winter when it's sunny. It's really really sunny because everything's white and it's blinding sometimes. It's not only that, but also my eyes are really puffy. It's been really puffy. It's been like that for 3 days now. Although it subsided a little bit because of the antihistamine that I took last night. Not loratadine. Okay. We were talking about faith and now we went to insurance. And now we're talking about my eyes. Okay. Back to insurance. They just, all of them sucks. Okay. I'd rather go back to the Philippines when it comes to, when we talk about insurance, the US really sucks health insurance. In the Philippines, when you pay for insurance, like 7,000 pesos per month or 14,000, around that price, or less, even less, you get, when you go to a hospital, they would pay for everything, as in everything. You wouldn't pay anything out of pocket. Here in the US, every time you go to for a visit, you would always pay out of pocket. And I just don't understand that. Even if you're paying for the highest premium, if you want more coverage, or if you want, like for example, in my case, I asked, how much would it be if I add physical therapy in my current coverage insurance. And I was told that with physical therapy, if I add physical therapy, surgery is included. I need a surgery for my tongue. There's a tongue lesion on the right side. It started in 2023, I believe. October 2023, there's a bump there, like a mass. Sometimes it's smaller, sometimes it's bigger. Recently it has been smaller. So anyway, I've been needing that surgery. So what they told me is, on top of what I'm paying now, I need to pay 700 more. So that means 1,000 or more than, I'm gonna pay my insurance 1,000 or more than 1,000 each month, just for health insurance. And aside from paying that, I would still pay more. So I just rather go back to the Philippines, where I would pay just 1,000 more one time going there and another time going back. Oh, that's 2,500, 3,000. Then pay United Healthcare 1,000 plus every month for 12 months, right? That insurance here sucks. That's it. So now going back to faith. I'm sorry. At least now you know that I'm going to the Catholic Church, right? Although I'm not Catholic. But at first, my experience with the Catholic Church, I used to come there with my friends, my roommates. I was still a member of the church then. That's between 2022 to 2023. That's kind of another a different transition that I had than the one I had from 2003 to 2024. Oh wait, no, 2023 to 2024. So the first time I came to the church with them, the Catholic Church, I have like this aloof feeling, like I somehow felt like, oh, this is wrong. I'm going to another church. This feels so wrong. And this is because of what's been planted in my head for a long time about the Catholic Church, and the very reason why other churches start to spring up from that main religion. It's because after Jesus Christ created the that religion, the Christianity, after he started it, there's Apostle, now Peter, James, John, and then Paul, and then there's the Council of Nicaea, where Emperor Constantine pick out what they just decided at that time which part of Christianity they would keep and which one they would diss out, like that. And when it went on, move forward from Christianity. Now we have Roman Catholicism. Although if you go in other parts of Europe, which is something I'm excited about, how we do that later on, visit for historical reasons. Anyway, so going from there, there were corruptions. The Roman Empire tried to use Christianity to, this is what I believed in before, right? Tried to use Christianity to make their kingdom bigger. So it's called Roman Catholicism. And then Martin Luther came and saw some problems with this church, that he started the Protestant churches. So other churches sprung up. That's also why in our part in the Philippines, there's this ugly pie church. When you go to church, it's just like a regular Catholic church, a regular Catholic priest. But they also separated from the Catholic Church because of the previous things that happened in the Philippines. Because some of the priests, the Catholic priests, would exercise power, stuff like that. You know about the 300 years of colonization in the Philippines of Spain. So we have the Protestants. Why am I telling you this? I can't remember why I'm telling you this. So anyway, so the Protestants came. They also went to the U.S. Some other churches started to spring up as well at this northern east area of the U.S. It's possibly because New York, where the Statue of Liberty is, and we have the Ellis Island there. That's where all the immigrants go from Europe, from everywhere. They would first go to Ellis Island as immigrants and enter the U.S. So the northeast part, like in Buffalo, New York, where Niagara Falls is, and the New Hampshire area, Massachusetts, where Harvard is, and Vermont, those areas, and New York, even New York, they would go there. Most of the Protestant churches and other churches sprung up there. Even Mormonism. See, Palmyra, New York. That's just close to Buffalo, New York, New Hampshire, U.S., Vermont. It's close together. The Amish, I think, also started there. And the other, what do you call this? It's not just Joseph Smith who was having visions. There were others. That's why, other than the Protestant churches, other churches also started to spring up from that area. Because it wasn't just Joseph Smith. There were people before him who were experiencing visions, and during and after him. So That's why other members of the church joined some of those churches when he died. Anyway, why did I tell you that? Let's go back to faith. Okay. Faith in terms of the church. I go to the Catholic Church. I like their service. I used to not like it, as I've told you earlier, because of I still thought at that time that the Mormon Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is the only true church on earth, because Joseph Smith claimed that he saw the Father and the Son, and the Son told him to join none of those churches and just created his own church. Eventually he did. So, and we always claim that this is the restored Church of Jesus Christ. So from the time of Jesus Christ, we believe that there were corruptions, even there were corruptions in the Bible. And now we have Joseph Smith claiming that since everything was corrupted, the Jesus Christ himself told him to create this new church. But if you see it, if you look at the church, this Mormon church, you will see power, seeking power, corruption, seeking more money. You see all of those stuff as well that we saw in the Roman Catholicism before. Yep. So that's one of the things that I believe in. And later on, after joining more of the Catholic services, and upon reading the CS letter for my wife, that really affected me so much that there's one of the services in the Catholic Church. I was there, I think it's St. Veronica in Toms River. My roommate was patting me, trying to comfort me because I was crying. I'm not sure if it was during the homily, but I was crying in that service. It's because of how I felt upon learning that the church that I grew up in and fighted for and served for how many years? So many years. 38 years I was there. It's not true at all. It's like my life is a lie, like that. So, my relationship with the other Catholics, members of this other congregation, these people has changed ever since then. It gradually changed from being aloof to them, like, oh, you guys are different from me, to feeling all downtrodden, ashamed, everything negative, to something else. I went to acceptance. I accepted these people, and when I started to accept them, I started to observe them without any judgments and notice the difference in their actions whenever they're at the church. I really like how they show respect whenever they come in the church. It's like how we members are whenever we enter the temple. It's like a holy ground that they would show respect, take their hats off, I mean. They'll be quiet. They'll put their hands in front of them. And for us members, we would do this for reverence. I'm not a member anymore, sorry. I shouldn't say that. I'm an ex-Mormon. So that, and I honestly admire them. I honestly admire those people, those Catholics, that that they show that kind of reverence whenever they would go to the church, even if the homily isn't so great. They would still sit there quietly and listen. So I appreciate that. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna join the Catholic Church, okay? I still don't have plans of doing that. What I really plan to do now is visit the historical sites where that's connected to religion. Like I would like to visit the area where Lazarus and Mary supposedly went after Jesus' death in the UK, where they formed like a small church there. In those areas, I would also like to go to Spain, where I think Lazarus also went and started a church there. Who was that person? Oh, it's not Lazarus who went to the UK. I think it's Jesus' uncle, the one who owned the tomb. I can't remember his name. So anyway, that's the reason why I need my código. So those are the places that I'd like to visit in the future, hopefully in the near future. I'd also like to visit the area in the Middle East where the Essenes started, and the actual holy place, Jerusalem. I would love to go there. I also would love to go to Vatican. So mostly visit Europe and possibly create videos about what I learned here on this channel, since I would talk to religion so much. Here's another question that I like to answer. That is, this is what one of my sisters told me. Why would ex-Mormons just don't leave the church alone? I admit that I am most of the time, recently, right now that I'm an ex-Mormon, most of the time religiously preoccupied. But before this life, before being an ex-Mormon, when I was still a Mormon, a member of that church, I am always religiously preoccupied. We were told to be missionaries. I was once a full-time missionary, meaning I was a missionary 24/7. That's what we do all day, every day, the moment we wake up and sleep. But the moment we wake up and until we fall asleep. And I would even dream about still doing all those work as a missionary. So there's this saying, I think it's Gordon B. Hinckley or David O. McKay who said this. I think Gordon B. Hinckley. Once a missionary, always a missionary. So from that point in my life where I became a full-time missionary, after that, before that and after that, I am actively involved in helping build the church. Building the church means building the number of membership and strengthening that number. So the goal is to make another ward, to make another state, to have another temple, such and such. That's the goal, just to make everything bigger. And also, what I didn't see that's included in that is to make more money. Because the more members, the more tithe payers. And if you don't know this yet, before you would enter the temple, because we believe that we need to be sealed in the temple with our families, right? Because we believe that families can be together forever. Even in heaven, once we die, we would be with our families if we endure to the end, keeping the faith, building the church with all our family members. We will claim that and be with them forever in heaven in celestial glory and receive that glory like the gods, because we are children of gods, right? We're children of God, I mean. And we will only have that opportunity if we go to the temple for the, not just for the sealing, we do everything. We would be doing the endowment. We can't be married in the temple if we're not endowed. So there's that session. The endowment session is connected to the Masonic stuff that Masonics do in the temple. We also do in the endowment. So Masonics could also attain that celestial glory, right? That. Why am I telling you this? Now I'm lost. Anyway, gonna try to go back. But why was I telling you this? That's the hard thing about not having an outline. Now I'm talking for 40 minutes, almost 41 minutes. Even though I get lost sometimes. It's kind of cool. I think I need to turn on this car. Once I review this later, it's gonna be really funny. Okay, so we have that. We believe that we will be together forever. Why did I tell you that? This is really funny. So anyway, since I can't remember why I told you that, now we will go to the topic of my faith, what I believe in right now. And there's this one thing that I told you about the Mountain Meadows Massacre, American Primeval. So American Primeval is a Netflix series. It just came out recently, and I recently watched it. The story is the full series. It's all about what happened in the 1850s, where there was a massacre that happened in the West, the wild, wild West, in the Mountain Meadows. It's called the Mountain Meadows Massacre. You can Google it. It really happened. Where this Nauvoo Legion, all Mormons, massacred this group of people who were hiking. They were called, whenever you travel before, you would travel with groups of people. And some of them had, they would have wagons where they would put their stuff. They have cows, horses to help them. So they will be in groups and follow each other like a train. So what you call that is a wagon train. So the whole member of that wagon train, I think most of them came from Arkansas, were murdered, but some of them survived to tell the story, according to that series, right? And the order allegedly came from Brigham Young. If you want to, I'd really like you to watch the full story on Netflix. What I remember, what I know about Brigham Young from all the church movies was that he's really eloquent, right? But it's all about, everything is spiritual about him. That every time you watch a church movie, it's all spiritual. You would feel it, like you would feel with your emotions, oh, this is true, he's really a good man and everything. But he had a lot of wives, right? And some of his wives were also wives of other members. That's called polyandry, not just polygamy. So that's what happened. They killed them, and they even killed their own, because some of them were Mormons going to Utah that Brigham Young built. That when you go to Utah right now, you'll see how the church is really, really rich. They had lots of real estate properties, not just in Utah, all over United States. There's this one beachfront property in Florida, the real estate, what's it, all this, like a whole condominium in California and other states and other parts of the world. There's even this controversy in Utah where the church has this really luxurious mall where inside the mall they were selling almost stuff, even Victoria's Secret, and that's owned by the church, this mall. And they said, Gordon B. Hinckley said before that the money they used to build that mall they're not coming from tithing money. So where did they come from? Out of their pocket? I don't think so, because these leaders were being paid by tithing money. They have allowances. So why do you think... Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay? I'm gonna stop. But here's what I'm gonna say. The Mormon Church is claiming that it's a non-paid ministry. But the ones who aren't paid are only the ones who serve locally, from the stake leaders, the bishop, from the stake leaders, the bishop and the local ward leaders, the teachers, everyone were not paid. But the church is paying for all the activities, and we would reimburse stuff that if we spend something for an activity, food, gas, we would reimburse them to the church. And the church got those money from the tithing money and donations from church members. However, you cannot really claim that it's not a paid ministry, because the apostles, the general authority, once you get to that level, you get allowance from the church. They would say, oh, this is the law of consecration. They've given up their life for the church. But what they have in the church is still a job, right? So you give up your restaurant, you give up your career as a doctor, as a lawyer, and now you're serving the church as a general authority, an apostle, a prophet, like Prophet Nelson. He was a surgeon before, heart surgeon. And they've given up their life to serve the church, but the church is paying them. So it's still a job. They're doing the job for the church 24/7. The church is paying them allowances, non-taxable. Anyway, so that's it. So you can't call that not paid ministry or unpaid ministry, when they're the ones who are getting paid from all the tax money. And then the church just happened to grow their money using other ventures, like building that mall, buying all those real estate stuff all over the world, buying farms, not just farms, lots of stuff. So what do I believe in right now about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? That is not the true Church of Jesus Christ. So which one is true? That's my dilemma before. Which is the true church? Which has the true doctrine? So I started to study, okay? I read books about the Essenes, because I heard that Jesus Christ was an Essene, as well as John the Baptist. And I also read Torah. The Torah is just the 5 books of Moses in Hebrew, right? I tried to learn Hebrew too, but I stopped recently because of all the other stuff that I need to focus on, like this video and writing and reading other books. So I tried to learn Hebrew. I could read it, but I can't understand it. I still need a side-by-side translation in English. And although I have the Quran, one of my friends who became Muslim told me to read Quran, but I have the book, but I haven't read it yet. It also has a side-by-side translation in Arabic and English. And I also have the Nag Hammadi scriptures. You know, there are scriptures that are not included in the Bible, right? That's not compiled in the Bible. Oh, speaking of the Bible, you know, the King James version of the Bible. Did you know that King James the first, the one who compiled the Bible as we know now, he's gay. And when he was confronted about being gay, about having those boys, he's George. Have you seen that series about George? I think, I'm not sure if that's connected, but what's this actress name? The redhead. I forgot. I had a crush on her before. Let's see. I will remember. So I guess I'm just gonna add everything in the description below. Everything that I forgot, including this series. It's not on Netflix. I think it's on Hulu. So King James is gay, defending his relationship with George, but previously, before George, he had another relationship, a long time partner. So he said, this is something like, not the exact thing that he said, because I don't have a copy in front of me, but something like this, that Jesus Christ have John, the beloved. So I have George. So it's like he's saying, no, is Jesus Christ gay? I cannot say that he's gay, right? But this is King James. This is what King James said. I could give you a source down below, description. It's in the history. This is what he said about Jesus Christ. So this is a guy, what I'm saying is, this is a guy who compiled the King James Version that we have now. The King James Version that people use, the Christians use against the LGBTQ community. But in fact, King James the first, the one who compiled that Bible that they're holding, is gay. So they're against King James. Well, anyway, that's one of the things that I learned. What I do now is I read stuff, but I wouldn't believe in them right away. I would just use them as, oh, this is another added knowledge. And if there's something good, I would accept it in my life. And if it's not that really great, or like, I would still get skeptical on some stuff, right? Like, there's this type of hypnosis where what Dolores Cannon would use. That's why she was able to produce the book about the Essenes. It's, what do you call that? This video really sucks. I'm sorry. If you're still watching this, thank you so much. But I like to apologize because, this is how my brain works. When I'm trying to talk, I'm just talking to myself, but now I'm talking to you. It just flies. The ideas just fly from one thing to another. That's why I would need a pen or a recorder to record me speaking. And then later on, I would just organize my thoughts. I organize everything. And that's better. And then After organizing that, I would write them more for either Medium or here on YouTube, or I would have an outline. Now I have none of them. This is just basically ideas coming to my head, what I know, and I'm telling that to you. So every time something else come up and it would come out of my mouth, I would forget about the other thing that I'm talking about. Like what happened right now. I already forgot what I was talking about. Now, we talk about, what I know is that we talk about the Mountain Meadows Massacre, American Primeval. We talk about which church I'm going to right now, my thoughts are about the Catholic Church, my thoughts are about my church, my former church, I'm sorry, and my faith. And the things that I did, oh, I remember now. That's cool. I get to remember. I told you about the things that I did to seek knowledge, actually to seek truth, but now I'm just doing that to seek knowledge. So what's my faith now? Do I believe in God? Yeah, I still believe in God. I still believe in the Father in heaven that I know of. Excuse me. Do I still believe in Jesus Christ? Yes, I still believe in Him. He is our perfect example. Do I believe that He is God? You know, you see that there's a problem here, right? Because the church members, I've been speaking for almost an hour without drinking. Meaning the church members that I used to belong to, the Mormon Church, believe that Jesus Christ is the Son, right? And that I have to start this car because it's cold, it's getting cold. And that Heavenly Father is the Father. Jesus Christ is like the eldest son. And then there's Lucifer, our brother. Jesus Christ's brother. They're brothers. That's what we believe in. But the Catholic Church and the whole other Christian community believe that Jesus Christ is the God. He is the Father. He is the Father and the Son. The Holy Trinity, right? He is also the Holy Ghost. He is all in one. It is Him. God went down to heaven, have flesh and blood, and became Jesus Christ. He's Jesus Christ. So that's not what we believed in as a member of the church. There were also other people who believed that Jesus Christ is just a prophet, like what the Quran says. Muhammad, the Muslims. And the Essenes this is what I read from Dolores Cannon, right? That Jesus Christ was an Essene. He is the one that the Jewish people were looking forward to see, but they didn't believe in Him, that He's going to be that Messiah. The Essenes, in the book that Dolores Cannon wrote based on her hypnosis to this girl. What do you call that when you hypnotize someone and that someone regress back to his or her previous life? That's regression? Hypnotic therapy? I don't know. I can't remember. So that's what happened. That's why she was able to produce those books. And she gathered all those information. But she didn't just write them out of that one person where she got them from, right? She had to do her research as well before producing the book. So she asked rabbis about this and that, information about the Jewish people, because she has no idea about them as well. She just learned this from this person who was in her 20s when she's in trance. and she's asking, Dolores asking questions, and she's just answering them. She would tell them about all this information about that past life, Sudi's life. Sudi. And that's what I first knew about the Essenes. They have this rock that they could light up when they touch. They have that technology in the past, the era before the time of Jesus Christ, where he started his ministry. And Jesus Christ is the Messiah. I still believe that he is the Messiah. And what the Essenes believe is he is the Messiah, but he is not God. Like God, according to Sudi, right? In Dolores Cannon's book. He is not God that we know of. He is not the Yahweh, the Elohim. He is not the Father. He's just this perfect example for all of us. He has ascended already. That's why he's our perfect example for us to ascend as well. If I talk about what I believe in about ascension, this is gonna be a long talk than usual. I've already been talking for an hour now. So, do I believe in Jesus Christ as God? Actually, I could believe that he is the Messiah. I believe that he is the Messiah. He is our perfect example to ascend. But since I grew up believing that he is the Son, and the Christian churches claim that he is God the Father as well, and I learned that because of that, I learned that Mormonism is not actually Christianity. Because what we believe in about gods is different from what they believe in. It's not just about knowing that Jesus Christ is the Messiah, right? What Christianity says is that God and Christ is one. But what Mormonism says is God the Father and Jesus Christ are separate. Although before, that's not what Joseph Smith taught in his records. That wasn't showing like that in his records. It was only added later on. If you search the history of the Mormon Church, you'll find that out. What else? There were other questions about me, about the church. There's this one guy close to me who asked me, how can't it be true? Because the general authorities, the prophet himself and his apostles, they were surgeons, they were lawyers, they were doctors. There was a pilot, like Dieter Uchtdorf, the German one. And he's like saying, these are wise men. Why would they believe in this if this is not true? What I can tell you is this. We can't rely our belief because another person who we think highly of believe in this. Like if this lawyer believed that Mormonism is true, if this doctor believed that this Mormonism is true, the only true church, they're all saying they're professionals, they're wise people, they're older, and they believe that this is true. There are also Christians who are professionals and are wise who believe that their church is true. There were Muslim doctors, Christian doctors, lawyers who have other religions as well. It's true. What their faith for them, their religion for them is true. And we also have atheists and agnostics people, theist people who doesn't belong to other churches or other religions but still believe in God, who are also wise, who are also professionals, but believe that I shouldn't join none of those churches. I shouldn't join any of those churches. Or I don't believe that in God. I just believe in science. So we can't rely our faith, what some things we believe in, on just because I'm losing my English. So I wouldn't want to believe in something because someone else that I think highly of believed in it. Okay, that's what's the one thing that I'm gonna tell you. And that's my answer for that. And I've got other questions. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm gonna write down all of them, and I will not forget them, so I could answer them in front of you like this and create another content like this where will be not edited or with little edits if I have to, and just post it as is. And what I'm planning now is create after 6 to 7 videos. After uploading 6 to 7 edited videos, I would post an evergreen content about my life updates. So my next life updates would probably be about me becoming an immigrant because of the crazy things happening right now in the US. I have a lot to say to that as well. The birthright, citizenship being abolished, or Trump wanted to get rid of that. And I've been watching another series recently on Netflix called Dark Wind, so I'm learning more about the ways of the Indians in Arizona, the Diné, the Navajo people. So it's 10 o'clock. Wait, what time is it? I'm gonna end this video right now. I need to go home. And I'll see you again next time. If you're still watching this up to here, thank you so much. Really appreciate it that your patience is that long. Anyway, thank you so much. And this is your neighbor, Wam. Let's stop this. I really stop this here. I don't think this is gonna be that high.